In the center of France, there is a lawless land where all kinds of people are completely without any rules. People can freely buy and sell hot goods without any fear, of course. They can also kill and robot willy-nilly. It can be said that the people who survive here are all the big shots. This place is the B13 area. The government does not want to manage the police. They just want to run away at night. In the end, what kind of existence is it that makes people so desperate? The biggest hot goods dealer in this area is the boss. The silver mulberry is cruel and vicious. That's why he can rule over the hot goods kingdom here. He not only addicts himself, but also forces all those around him to be addicted with him. If his subordinates do not do well, he will shoot them dead right in front of them. Here he is the symbol of money and power, but big trees catch the wind. Famous people have many disasters. Those who support him with all their might also have those who hate him from the bottom of their hearts. Lino, our main character, is such a person. His handsome appearance with firm abs makes many people jealous. He grew up in the B13 area since he was young, naturally having deep affection for this place. Seeing the big boss Silver do evil things here, Lino also caused trouble for this guy many times. That day, Lino did a big deal, sucked the hot goods of the big boss Silver. He was using the bathtub to destroy these toxic things, but what Lino didn't expect was that the fat K2, the subordinate of the big boss Silver, would come so quickly. K2 3 punches, 2 kicks, finished off the guards downstairs, then took a gun and rushed straight upstairs. Very quickly, they had defeated each guard. Moreover, they also asked Lino's address. From Attenant right, when Lino was about to run away, a black guy restrained and fired a gun and told him, "Lino must live and I am not qualified to kill him." With this rule, Lino was naturally no longer afraid. A group of people were about to break the door and rush in. Then Lino broke the door from the inside and rushed out. He took advantage of his superior physique to cling tightly to the pipe and dodged the black men's pursuit one by one. Then Lino ran to a corridor directly flying up and kicking it, breaking it. The glass door faced the crowd that was chasing him. Intensely, Lino still decided to run first for safety after a while of dodging. He had reached the lower floor, but the gang was very eager. It seemed that they would not give up until they were captured alive right. After that, Lino flew up and grabbed the rope as gracefully as a snap of teeth. But the pursuers who were following were not so lucky. They fell straight down from the high floor. Then Lino swung himself to a balcony and found escape dangerous, and climbed up to the roof of the house. The gangsters kept following Lino wherever he ran. They chased him. But this floor seemed to be Lino's playground. The turning and flying moves were like turning a hand after a few laps. The whole group could only sigh watching Lino's back gradually move away. The chase of Pa ended here. The whole group had to disappointedly return to the silver mulberry boss, who knew what happened and immediately opened fire shot and killed a few people. When it was K2's turn, he suddenly thought of a good idea. If we don't catch Lino, we can catch Lala, Lino's younger sister. The silver mulberry boss heard that and immediately thought of a good idea, so he gave her another chance. A group of people quickly looked for La, but Lola was also someone experienced. In facing some thugs, she wasn't afraid of a thug pervert who teased Lalola and asked for Lalola's underwear. Lalola immediately gave him a punch and said, "I'll make you swallow it later." When the group just arrived outside the base of the silver mulberry boss, Lino was like a god. He appeared first. He held the knife tightly to the neck of the silver mulberry boss with the silver mulberry boss in his hand. Of course no one dared to act rashly. The two brothers forced the boss to go out. Lola, of course, was not a pushover. The first thing to do when going out was to catch the pervert who just pointed at him to eat his underwear. The two brothers, Lino and Lola, defied the bullets and escorted the silver mulberry boss to the police station. Unfortunately, that day the police station was planning to move out of area B13. Saw a few people coming with a fierce look. The police chief felt helpless when everyone was negotiating. The gangsters came more and more. Everyone was carrying guns, ammunition. A war seemed about to break out. The police officer guarding outside could not stand still. He hurriedly ran in to report the situation to the police chief under pressure from the gang. The Police chief took the guns from Lino and Lola Law and pointed them at them. Isn't this meaning black and white mixed? Then the police chief Lino entered the iron cage and ordered the old man, the gambler, to stop beating, and then took her away, Lino looking at the police station without distinguishing right and wrong. He couldn't help but get angry. He pulled the head of the police chief into the iron cage and jumped up and finished him off. Immediately, time passed quickly. 6 months. One evening. A rich old man got out of the car. The shaggy-haired attendant followed. Behind him, the old man muttered curses at the little thugs, who didn't know the rules, and walked towards the mine's base. It turns out this old man is a gang leader who just robbed a loan of illegal money and now needs an accountant to help count the money one of his subordinates sees. Something unusual on the monitor. Everywhere is a police in plain clothes. Anyone who is observant knows this is the team that has mixed in with the old man's internal affairs. Without panic, pulls out a gun and shoots him dead. A subordinate he suspected thought they had caught the internal affairs, but unexpectedly was mistaken. Another subordinate just pulled out a gun, pointed at the old man, and took off his wig. It's not a wig. I'm a policeman. This person is the second main character of the movie, tentatively called Thasso reluctantly. The old man had no choice but to tell his subordinates to go out. All Tommaso from the roof handed the old man over to the police alone to face the attack of everyone. Even though Tommaso has not practiced for a long time, but dealing with these little minions is still too much. Then, 3 punches, 2 kicks, knock them down. This time, the mission is completed perfectly. Thus also received a reward from the police headquarters, but at the same time the headquarters also informed him of a difficult case. It turned out that in the B13 area some kids had caused an explosion under the guise of a car crash, and the mastermind behind this explosion was the hot goods boss, the Silver Mulberry. The car did not contain gold, silver, and jewels, but a new type of bomb called a neutron bomb, explosive range of 8 km. Once it exploded, everything would turn into nothingness. In an instant, Tommaso's mission was to break into the B13 area and bring the bomb back clearly. For Thasso, this was not an easy task to do, because he was a stranger here. So the headquarters sent him someone to help Lino, who had been imprisoned for killing the police. This sudden intervention, Lino would certainly not believe it, so had to arrange a new identity for Thas, thus then disguised as a prisoner, and got on the same car with Lino. Thas told Lino that the Silver Mulberry boss was the enemy who killed his father. Not only that, Tommaso also invited Lino to escape with him. When Tommaso had finished with the 2 policemen on the prison car, Lino immediately controlled him. Lino already knew Tommaso was fake, just acting together, but the 2 of them sped to area B13, but as soon as they stopped the car, Lino left Tommaso alone to look for the Silver Mulberry boss. Lino had just left. Tommaso had gotten into trouble. The local leader had come. But even though Thas was blinded by one hand, his strength was not reduced at all. He broke the steering wheel 3 or 4 times, then knocked the leader's subordinates to the ground, then quickly strangled the leader. Thus Tommaso painfully persuaded the other. I can give you my car, but from now on, consider it as if nothing happened. After saying that, he immediately took advantage of the chaos and ran away in an abandoned building. Thas found Lino after the 2 had a big argument. Tommaso told Lino that the real purpose of coming to B13 this time was to carry out the mission of disarming the bomb and preventing the explosion. Seeing Thas so straightforward, Lino dropped his guard and became an ally on the same side with him. Lino knew the style of B13 very well, so he immediately called the Silver Mulberry boss to skip the old bed procedures in between meeting the boss. The 2 were brought before the Silver Mulberry boss right away. At this time, the Silver Mulberry boss had offered a price for the 2 of them. As long as the government sent 20 million, they could take the bomb away. Moreover, they could also bring the Lola that was shining on the bomb. Listen to the conditions that the Silver Mulberry boss offered. The 2 of them found it acceptable. Thus call. The government unexpectedly, the government refused them immediately. Thus know if now let the Silver boss know. The government has refused. The condition he and Lino will die here. So he pretend that the government has agreed to temporarily keep the Silver boss, but the bankie's still not working. The Silver boss cannot check the money now. Everyone can only wait if confirmed. The money has been Received, the two people will be released. Lino and Tommaso are both hot-tempered people. Of course, can't stand their fate in the hands of others. So halfway the two flying people, turning 360 degrees in the air, then snatching the gun from the hands of the two subordinates in front of them. Their understanding is really not easy. One person hits one side and one person hits the other side. But what they didn't expect was that more and more people came. The two had to run to the bathroom, and according to Saul Lino, they'd successfully escaped through a secret passage. Did not catch the gang, of course, could not avoid a scolding from the Silver Mulberry boss at the right time. This time the finance officer came to inform him that the government's 20 million not only did not enter his account, but the initial amount of money was also frozen, and no longer. His money was no longer of any use. The gang joined forces to shoot continuously. The Silver Mulberry boss immediately died in front of everyone. K2 became the new leader of the gang. K2 knew the bomb was not their money-making tool. The urgent thing now was to find Lino and Tommaso. They dismantled the bomb, faced the encirclement the two set up. Surrounded after a while of negotiating with K2, Tommaso won the opportunity for both of them to go upstairs to defuse the bomb. But what the two didn't expect was that the Silver Mulberry boss had already arranged a meat shield in the middle of the road to prevent them from wanting to defuse the bomb first. Had to deal with this meat shield. This flew forward and kicked the meat shield's chest. But the meat shield was unharmed, and he himself was shocked and fell to the ground. Thus hurriedly picked up a brick next to him and threw it. But even when the brick shattered, the meat shield was still safe and sound. Seeing Tommaso, Lino knew he had to take action. He analyzed the weakness of the meat shield before large size, slow speed. Lino immediately had an idea. He picked up a rope, taking advantage of his speed 3 times, wrapped around twice already. Shown the meat shield into a giant bond. Tethas saw the opportunity to come and grab the brick, fly up straight into the middle forehead meat shield. Meat shield dead on the spot. The two people in front and behind climb up the stairs just in time to meet Lola, who's about to commit suicide. With gasoline, Lino promptly grabs the match to prevent the disaster from happening. Thus also calls the superior to ask for the password to prevent the bomb from exploding initially. Tommaso intends to enter the password, but Lino feels something is wrong. This is a plot if entering. The password is to activate the bomb can. Thus trust the superior. He trusts the most. How can he deceive him more? Moreover, if the superior wants the bomb to explode, how can he send him? Lino listens and doesn't care much, says if the superior just wants him to confirm if the bomb is in the city center. Then why do the two people disagree? Their views? Then they get into a fight over money. The two of them are naturally undecided. But at this time, Lino is exhausted, had to admit defeat as soon as Tommaso's standard was pressed. The last password, Lola suddenly rushed out, directly kneeling on the neck Tommaso. The little girl chose to trust her brothers. He was right. The three looked at each other waiting. The countdown clock reached 0. Indeed, the bomb did not explode. This was just a conspiracy of the government. Thus worldview immediately collapsed. He never thought that the government he trusted absolutely would deceive him even more. So based on the premise that he had to sacrifice his life, the two angry people took the bomb to find superiors to question. Under the interrogation of the two superiors, admitted their guilt. It turned out that B13 area, because of many years without the management of the government, not only was violence and crime uncontrollable, but also seriously touched the interests of the government. So they had to destroy B13 area with a destructive bomb ball. Superiors did not know that this scene was broadcast live by reporters. To the whole world, this secret had known to the world at that moment. Next to await the superiors was a severe trial after the neutron bomb plot was exposed. Not only the mayor had to be punished appropriately, but the decision to demolish B13 and rebuild it into a normal residential area was also decided right. When everything was going well, the old mayor resigned again, causing the government to change this, meant that the previous promises were no longer valid. So Lino and Tommaso's efforts were basically in vain. 3 years have passed. B13 is still B13. The looting and destruction still occurs. The only difference is that the situation of being alone has been broken. The bosses in every field have emerged one after another. Lino saw. The government did not keep its word. The wall of B13. You guys don't destroy it, so let me do it myself. So he took the bomb and ran outside. The wall of B13 area pasted each timed. Bomb breaking the wall like setting off firecrackers. So while he was having fun, the police came, but for Lino, B13 area was his home ground. Flying on the roof, going through the wall. Here was as simple as taking things from the pocket of the police car blocking in front of him. He jumped, avoiding the police chasing behind him, continuously, turning and jumping far. Not only that, since Lino carried out the mission last time, all the bosses in B13 area became his friends, and the children also considered him an idol. Lino led the police to the Black Tycoon's territory. The Black Tycoon ordered his subordinates to shoot. The police had to run away miserably. After that, Lino told the Black Tycoon that he wanted to change the status quo of B13 area. But after hearing that, the Black Tycoon was indifferent and even a little annoyed. After all, the Black Tycoon had a place table, privately has its own army and stable income. In B13 area, life here is extremely more leisurely. He decides everything. At this time, a truck carrying hot goods to B13 area. The Black Tycoon saw that. Acquaintances, without saying a word, immediately. Let them go. The hot goods business in B13 area is all held by the guy Sabong, but at this time, the guy Sabong is in a critical condition. Because of his passion for beauty, he was successfully deceived by Tommaso, dressed as a woman after dealing with the guy Sabong. Tommaso wore a wig to the guy Sabong's bar. These big customers are all waiting. For the guy Sabong, this tricked them one by one, come in front of the guy Sabong, then use an aesthetic to beat each person together to finish all. These things Tommaso immediately informed the headquarters could start. Action in a flash. The riot police were already in ambush and rushed in. But this bar was not an ordinary bar. Everywhere were traps. The riot police had to be very careful moving. With difficulty in the haunted bar, after Tommaso blew up the drain in his room, he threw soap and big customers straight into it so that the police were ready to capture them immediately. But when Tommaso took a real original painting worth 200 million euros, the painting got stuck in the mouth of the well and could not get through. At this time, the soap subordinates finally rushed in reluctantly. Tommaso had to use this painting as a threat to both deal with and fight close combat with Thasso's skillful skills. The few people in front of him were not. 3 punches, 2 kicks. Opponents finished. The group of people, he immediately flew the person who went upstairs, conveniently knocked down the guard on top, making him fall flat on his face, and then threw a kick that sent the guard who was charging behind flying straight down the stairs. The group saw that martial arts were no match for him and hurriedly held the gun and pointed it close to Thas. Seeing the situation dangerous, they quickly kicked the painting into the room and quickly sneaked after him. Unexpectedly, the room he had just entered was the place where the hot goods manufacturing team leader saw a stranger coming in and immediately set off the bomb, and all the hot goods manufacturing staff around rushed forward, but the guards outside couldn't fight. Thus, so the hot goods manufacturing staff could imagine it. Just in time, a hot goods manufacturing staff held a syringe and pushed Tommaso onto the table. The riot helmet that the riot police had transported from headquarters fell from above, just saving Tommaso's life. Then Tommaso used the helmetto cover. The bomb with a boom resounded. Tommaso was pushed up by the recoil. The other objects in the room were still intact. At this time, the riot police had also successfully entered the room. Only the people in the room had been knocked down by Tommaso. This action had finally ended. The scene switched to a bright building. The mayor took out a suitcase of money and gave it to the bearded man, telling him to cause a riot in Area B13, so that the government would have an excuse to intervene and control Area B13. That very night, the bearded man had planned first. He sent a gunner to shoot the camera, and then personally killed 2 police officers on duty. Next, he pulled the police car onto the truck. They thought their mission was going very smoothly, but did not know That. All this action had been seen by a group of young men, and Film Dao Riang sent someone to pull the police car to area B13 and put it down. The guards of area B13 looked, seeing everyone stunned. Why? The police came here just when they were feeling suspicious of the bearded guy. No. Far away, fired a shot. This unexpected shot made the guards extremely tense. They quickly took their guns fired at the police car, and this scene was what the bearded guy wanted to get the footage. This film, the act of blaming them, would have a reason. That morning, Tommaso had just woken up, had an unexpected bad feeling. The feeling was indeed true. A group fully armed police rushed into the room, arrested Tommaso on charges of possessing hot goods, although this was a false accusation. But Tommaso could only swallow the bitter pills, wallowed the bitter pill in another development. The president knew about the story. The guard of B13 area shot dead. The policeman last night, he immediately sent the bearded guy to investigate this incident. A thing like this happened right during his time taking office. Who could stand? The president specially told the video must not be leaked, otherwise it will affect his reputation. But the son-in-law of Reng did not think at all and immediately released the video because he did not think of rebuilding the B13 area, but of flattening the B13 area. This operation resulted in the expected effect. The public and the police were immediately outraged. After finding one of the guards, they immediately shot and killed him on the spot. Although they achieved the desired effect, the son-in-law was not happy because they had discovered a clue in the surveillance camera. Yesterday, a group of young men had recorded the entire process of slandering them. If this group of young men revealed it, they would be in a passive position. So the urgent thing now was to arrest the group of young men. One of the young men discovered that he was being followed and immediately gave the memory card to Lino. The police surrounded him from all sides and successfully arrested the young man. Lino witnessed everything and also understood that this was a trap. Tommaso was being arrested and was very upset. So on the way to the prison, he directly used his foot to kick down two policemen and took out his phone from his pocket to call Lino, saying that he had been arrested and needed his help. This call attracted the attention of the son-in-law Riang and the others, instead of waiting for Lino to come to the rescue. Chibang took the initiative to arrest him immediately. The police rushed in and knocked down each guard in front of the door, and rushed towards Lino. At this time in the room had seen the video of the son-in-law shooting the police that night, and quickly. The conclusion. This is a case of slandering. The police is rushing up. Lino saw the police chasing, quickly swinging from one building to another. He is very skilled at the FoePound between buildings. The other police in front of him are also, like being held by the nose. Lino not only adapts to all terrains, but is also good at creating all kinds of traps. After a while of chasing the police, not only failed to catch him, but also injured many people. The Black Tycoon knew his subordinates were defeated by the police, immediately used a gun to blow up the police headquarters of the B13 area, and after Lino escaped, he went directly to the city police headquarters. He bluntly said to the police chief, "Can you give me a room?" The police chief was stunned after hearing, "Do you think this is a motel? Want a room and get it right away?" Lino didn't say much. Directly knocked the police chief to the ground, although this move was a bit surprising, but it also helped Lino successfully open the room in the police station. The purpose of Lino's trip was to rescue Tommaso, who was being held in prison. Lino slid forward and took advantage of the force to immediately hide behind the police to unfasten the handcuffs. This smooth handling, like flowing water and floating clouds, made the two policemen know what to do. For a moment, Lino rescued. Tommaso then joined Tommasoa. Well-matched duo of 3 punches and 2 kicks knocked down the guard to the ground. The two escaped by elevator in area B13. At this time, an unprecedented riot was taking place. The struggle between the people and the law enforcement agencies was escalating. Right when the president didn't know what to do, the bearded guy immediately suggested evacuating area B13 within 12 hours, so that the civilians had time to evacuate and then use Bombelveld. This place, Lino and Tommaso accidentally heard the whole plan. They decided to stop the plot of the politicians. The top priority now is to find evidence this actively stayed to attract the police to let Lino enter the room of the bearded guy to get evidence. Lino used the excuse of repairing. The computer directly took away the storage drive. In the computer on this side, Tommaso was fighting. Fiercely saw. Lino had succeeded immediately. Stopped fighting the two, got into the stolen car facing the pursuit of the police. Stepped on the gas and rushed up to the second floor. Then continuously, several drifts. They directly broke the door and rushed out of the bearded guy's office and successfully escaped. After escaping, the two flew straight to the base of the bosses in Area B13 to find the female boss who was in power there. The tattooed boss looked very fierce to convince the female boss. They directly used the storage drive to show her the plan of the government. The female boss saw it immediately. Be alert, then accept the training of the bosses. Guns, car bosses, drilling bosses. Come to Area B13 to discuss the plan. Everyone just finished discussing. Then there is nothing more to say. Decided to deal with the government. This told everyone the plan this time is to storm the government to rob the department. Launch the missile. Everyone heard it immediately. Get excited, directly climb to the roof of the building. The government then used a rope to jump down to attack. Suddenly, at this moment, Lino also led a group of people to rush in Lino, and Thas took the lead to beat the guards in front of the female boss, itched to see everyone fighting enthusiastically. She also got excited, blooded, directly untie her braid and alone balance 4 ears, hook and kick the groin. Flying people kicked without hesitation. A series, continuous moves. The guards all lay down to the ground on the side of the drilling rig, opened fire, directly used a machine gun to destroy the electrical system. This and others are preparing to rush into the command center. Then the right-hand man of the bearded Rieng blocked the way. Tommaso did not say much, directly threw a kick that sent him flying to this side. The president was preparing to activate the missile. Seeing everyone rushing in, he immediately pulled out the key in the crowd. The president only knew Tomasothis directly. Asked Lino to show the video of the bearded Rieng shooting the police. The daughter-in-law of Rieng saw that his plot was exposed, completely immediately used a gun to control the president. The president's life was threatened. He had to follow his orders. Lino saw the situation had changed, and immediately used the excuse of taking a cigarette to distract. Tommaso glanced. He understood Lino's intention, and stood up, kicked the bearded Rieng to the ground. A group of bosses immediately rushed in and punched repeatedly. Then they rolled the daughter-in-law of Rieng into the carpet, as a gift for the president. The president saw that the situation was clear. Immediately, said all my thoughts to everyone. I will amend the law within 48 hours, and rebuild your residential area. But at this time, Lino said it was better to take this opportunity to rebuild the residential area to create a truly livable place, asked the bosses again. No one had any comments. The president launched 5 bombs into the area side B13. The B13 area no longer exists. A completely new residential area is about to be born. District 13. B13 is a movie released in 2004. Is an action movie. It not only has neat action scenes, perfect smooth parkour scenes, but the plot is also very smooth. If you have a special interest in the aesthetic of violence, then I recommend you definitely watch the original. The value of a movie lies in its reputation, and the value of a movie review. The movie review lies in the feeling of the story today. That ends here. Thank you for watching the movie. How do you feel about this movie? Please comment below.